Yep, it's. Wait for Scott to physically get in here. No, I don't. I was just. Should I wait for Scott? No. Yeah. Yes, I was just waiting for it. Go ahead, I guess. Go. Okay. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. All sleeping seeds she wakens, the rainbow is her token. The winter's power is taken, with love all chains are broken. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. Everything lost is found again in a new form, in a new way. Everything hurt is healed again in a new time, in a new day. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. We are changers. Everything we touch can change us. We are changers. Everything we touch can change. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. We are changers. Everything we touch can change us. We are changers. Everything we touch can change. We are changers. Everything we touch can change us. We are changers. Everything we touch can change.
I took my love and I took it down. I climbed a mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills, till the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Ooh. Take my love, take it down. Oh, climb a mountain and you turn around. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, the landslide will bring it down. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, well, maybe the landslide will bring it down. Well, the landslide will bring it down.
Good morning. My name is Gail Stevenson, and I serve as treasurer of the Board of Trustees of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spartanburg. And I am delighted to welcome you all here this morning, whether you are here at UUCS or virtually. This is a welcoming congregation where everyone is welcome just as we are. If you are visiting with us this morning, we would love to meet you to share more about the life of this congregation. Visitor cards may be found in the pocket in the back of the chair in front of you. Please feel welcome to fill one out and place it in the offering plate during the service so that we can connect with you. There are many important announcements on the sheets titled Connect at the back of the bulletin this morning. Please open your bulletin to see all that you can be a part of. Here are a few highlights. Oh, and by the way, my hair's pulled back, so for those of you that were saying that my hair is always falling forward, I put one of my do-rag thingies on this morning, so it was all pulled back. So that gave you time to find the connect. So on Sunday, May the 19th, following our morning service, we will hold our annual meeting. This is a time to elect new officers, vote on our new budget, approve an updated contract for Scott, and celebrate all that we have done together as we launch into a new year of service. This is a vital and joyful gathering. Please plan to attend. Following our annual meeting, we will celebrate the church year with a potluck in recognition of Sybil's service to our congregation for the past 8 years. Please bring a dish and share and come and celebrate. And building a community of communities with Paula Cole Jones, the SCUU Justice Alliance is excited to offer a workshop that helps congregations build beloved communities for all. This workshop for the South Carolina UU congregations will review strategic steps towards creating multicultural change in our congregations. Paula Cole Jones will guide us through actions we can take to embrace the spiritual, cultural, and structural aspects of moving more fully into our vision of the beloved community through the lens of the 8 principle work. We hope you can join us for the important and timely work. SCUJA, which was the SCUU Justice Alliance, received a UU funding program grant to bring you the opportunity at no cost for our congregation. The event will take place on Saturday, June the 8th from 10 to 3 and Thursday, June the 13th from 7 to 9 p.m. Please see the announcement in next week's happening to register. Thank you for being here today and have a wonderful time, and happy Mother's Day to those of you that are celebrating.
Good morning. My name is Riley Lanier, and I've been a long-time member of this church, and today I act as your service leader. For the lighting of the chalice, which Kara is going to do, we'll share an 18th century Japanese haiku poet Kobayashi Issa. I'm sure I butchered that well. I'll joyous and kind. In my next life, let me be a butterfly afield.
Please join me in hymn number 298 in your gray hymnal. Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow. Giving, receiving as love shows us how. Wake now my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer thy limit and praise the sublime. Wake now compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take us your neighbor, both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end.
You'll notice a beautiful bowl of water surrounded by flowers, shells, and stones. We ask members to come forward and place a stone and or a shell into the water. As we perform this ritual, our joys are celebrated and our concerns are lessened as the water ripples from the placement of them into the bowl, which represents the care of our congregation as we collectively share our thoughts. Cynthia will now place Kara will place a stone and a shell to represent those of us who are watching virtually. So please come forward. As Unitarian Universalists, we don't have a set creed or statement of belief. Our guiding principles call us forward to do a responsible search for truth and meaning. We therefore come to services with diverse beliefs crafted by our own thoughtful search. About 12 years ago, UUCS came up with the following covenant through the democratic process, and it wonderfully expresses what we strive to be with ourselves and the greater community. I invite you to recite it with me. It can be found in your order of service, and if you're watching virtually, it'll show up on your screen. With courage we say, we are people of faith and hope. Together we covenant to strive to become our better selves. That diversity need not mean divisiveness, and to respond to systems of violence and oppression with the power of a love beyond belief. And we have a time-honored tradition in our service during which we can greet one another personally. We honor each other's personal space, and you can remain seating if you desire. When Aaron starts playing the music, though, it is your cue to return to your seats and prepare for the rest of the service. If you're watching us virtually, now could be a good time to text or call someone with positive energy, or just send it to someone you hold close. As several of us like to say, let the holy chaos begin. At this time in the service, we pass the collection plate to recognize our financial gifts as well as the many others we bring to this church. As it comes to you, you're asked to take it and pass it on to the next person, even if you're not contributing this way. We know the need for funds to sustain this place we hold so dear. We also share the plate each month with an organization which provides needed services to the local community or globally. We give all undesignated funds in the collection plate and all of the designated funds to the share the plate recipient. This month, we're sharing the plate with Angel Charged Ministries in Spartanburg. This agency helps women just released from prison. They provide a safe home, along with education and counseling, to provide women with the tools they need to get their lives on track. And we are blessed to have Teresa Bowl, who is a board member of the ministry, to share more about their organization. So come forward, please.
Well, hello everybody. I'm happy to be here. I've been involved with Angels Charge Ministry since 2015. That was the first year that they opened up their first house. And I don't know if any of you all know Nanny Jeffries, but she started all of this. It was something that was she was praying about, because a lot of women at her church, Maranatha, they were going in and out of jail and detention. And so she started doing, some reading books and calling different people who were doing things like this. And she got it all set up, and a really nice person who is now deceased gave her a house to start with. And that house could have 7 women at one time. And so our mission and vision is, to provide women that have been through this, either here in the detention center or the women's prisons. Most of our women come from here in the detention, but there are some that come in from college, from the Columbia and those prisons. But our mission is to provide women with hope and resources to just have a new way of life. They are back on track, they are working, they have their children, they are happy. So it's just wonderful. And our vision is that all incarcerated women, especially in Spartanburg County, but again, we take them from other places, but we work with them through faith-based development and help them realize their value and purpose to become independent. And we want them to be able to be positive assets to our community so they don't return to incarceration. One of the first women in our program is Audrey. Can't think of her last name right now, but she works for and now I'm going to forget the name of it, but it's a mental health place, and she goes into the detention centers here and talks to the women, and tells them what she's been through. They hear that, and then if Audrey sees one of the women that they think will be willing to do this program, she will call Nanny and tell her, and Nanny will go talk to them and get them into the program. I will tell you that our program is it's very, we've got set things that they have to do. It's not just, oh, you get to go to the house and sleep in the bed and eat the food and not do anything. It's very structured, and some women don't like that. If we get them and they, every once in a while, in 2-3 days or a week, and they might say, this is too hard and I'm not going to do it. And we go, okay, that's fine. You can leave. If you change your mind, a month or two or so later, we will, give you another chance. But the program is something that they really have to follow to make it work. There are not enough beds in Spartanburg for women that have been going through detention and prison. And Spartanburg County ranks number 2 in the state of South Carolina for male and females admitted. There are more beds here for men than there are for women. So we are trying very hard. We've got 2 houses now. The city of Spartanburg and some of the county of Spartanburg have helped us with some grants and some things, and we are in the process of having 2 homes built on the north side. So that will give us 2 more homes, and we can house 6, I think, in each house. And so that would give us 12 women there, and then 12 women in the 2 houses that we already have. And so we hope that first house is going to be built sometime by the end of this year. And obviously, when you do things like this, we have to have another case manager. We need more volunteers, to make all of that work. Right now, we have 2 case managers, 1 program manager who's doing a really good job, and Nanny, but Nanny can't do everything because she does all kinds of stuff. So we're just going to be asking people to help us with donations so we can get more case managers. Anybody that wants to volunteer, I can give you all the information you want for the things that we do as volunteers. And we just hope that you will pray for us and help us to keep going strong and never give up, and always help these girls, ladies, as much as we can. And I'm going to keep it short like this, but after service, if anybody wants to ask me anything more about it, I'll be glad to tell you. But it's an organization that I love. It is in my heart, and we've been working with different churches to help them understand what we're doing and why it's so important. So thank you all for listening to me.
We're really glad that you're here to provide this ministry, and we will help. Now the ushers come forward and pass the plate.
How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? And how many times must the cannonballs fire before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many years must a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? And how many years blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? And how many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? And how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
In October, I shared with you the voice of a mother who I heard speaking on the radio about her children and her community and her nation. And I shared with you her voice again this winter. I want to share with you her words for a third time. This is a mother being interviewed after the October 7th attack in southern Israel. She was reflecting on the emerging conflict in Israel and Gaza then, all those months ago. And then what she said was, we are all losing. We are all losing. It's a powerful statement of our interdependence and how our actions affect one another, how important our choices are, the effect they have in the world, and how much agency each of us has to try to do something to build a world that is livable. We can see now, all these months later, as anti-Semitism around the world escalates in wave upon wave, and as tens of thousands of Palestinians have been slaughtered and their homes destroyed, the whole infrastructure of their lives destroyed, that when we think in isolation, we all lose. Well, this day can be a hard day. Not all of us have had great experiences with mothers. And so here we invoke mothers of every kind, of every biology, of every gender, mothers across the spectrum of our humanity who have taught us, teachers and mentors, people in our neighborhoods, people in our workplaces, people in our congregations, people who just cared about us, people who have taught us that what makes for life is to nurture life for every one of us, to value our interdependence, to take it seriously, to build a world where we all can thrive. Whoever you are, when you have used your agency to strengthen the interdependence of our lives, to make this a world where we all can live, today I thank you for being a mother. Whoever you are. Join with me in silence to give thanks for those who teach us to nurture life in this world. Everything changes. This dewdrop world is just a dewdrop world. And yet, this dewdrop world is just a dewdrop world. And yet, Kobayashi Issa was an 18th century Japanese poet, practitioner of Buddhism, a practice that teaches everything changes all the time. And the way to find peace and liberation in the world is to come to terms with that, to accept the constant mutability of our universe, and the way that our grasping to any one moment of it can cause us deep suffering. And so to be free and to find contentment in life, must accept that everything changes. Everything is transitory. Everything ends. And in that stoic acceptance of the world, to find peace. It's a beautiful and transformative philosophy, one to which Issa held deeply. And yet, this dewdrop world that is so transient, life just a beautiful, luminous bead of water that will break off for each of us at any moment, is also a world of resplendent beauty. Light refracting prismatically the short time that that dewdrop hangs on a leaf. And for Issa, for all of his philosophy and wisdom, for all of his striving through reason and disciplined practice to come to terms with the transitory nature of this world, each time the dewdrop of one of his children's lives broke from the leaf of life too early. 3 times he lost children in this world. For all of his philosophy, he felt the crushing blow of grief. This dewdrop world is just a dewdrop world. And yet, Last week, we celebrated children being dedicated into the life of this congregation. And we gave them a rose without thorns, a symbol of our promise to care for them and to nurture them into their early adulthood. And then we celebrated the bridging of 4 of our older teenagers, all of whom are transitioning through graduation or other life changes into their adult lives. And wisely, Sybil handed each of them a rose with thorns. Some of them found the thorns to be a surprise when they grasped their rose. The meaning being, we cannot protect you from all that life will give you. If we were to look at each of our palms sitting here today, I think we would find many scars from the thorns of the roses that we've carried. It's a beautiful ceremony. Those children and those young adults and their families standing behind them, and mothers of many kinds encircling them. Biological mothers, adoptive mothers, stepmothers, stepfathers of maternal bent, and then all of us, teachers and caregivers, nursery workers, friends, mentors, covenant group members, encircling all these people to say, we care about you through this. We care about you in your life. You saw when those parents spoke for their children, tears coming down their faces, an emblem of the landslide of those lives. Memories and gestures towards memories that needn't be shared in detail here in front of us all, of how very nearly the landslide can come to sweeping us away. And the tears, a small reminder of how much life can pull us down. Everything changes. And with the fragility of our dewdrop lives, can wash away all too easily. And yet we saw those children and young adults stand before us. And we saw in the eyes of their parents tears not only of grief and sorrow, but of joy and relief and love. And the resolution to continue to support them. And we encircle them ourselves all around this congregation. All forms of mobility, all forms of knowledge of their lives. Some of us know their names and their profiles and have a whole dossier on each one of them. And some of us don't even know them, except that we are part of this together. We encircled them and sent to them through our connectedness whatever energy and love and hope we could send through one another to charge their life with possibility, to buttress their life with what can be. Everything changes, some of it for the worse, some of it very dangerous. Our fragile lives just hanging on, but resplendent with that prismatic beauty that we value so much in this congregation. Don and Mary Miles have asked me to speak with you this month about transitions. And when I asked them what they meant by transitions, they named a long catalog of changes happening just in this congregation. Many very positive, but also very disruptive. Things that have altered the way that we work and the things that we do together, the way that we are and who we are over the course of many years. They name changes in their own lives, things that they grapple with that are their own story to tell. And changes in each of our lives, things that they know about my own life, and changes that I'm living through. Of all the transitions that they named, and that we are reflecting on this month, many we can handle philosophically. Many we can think about organizationally. Many we can reckon with through our reason, and we should. There is a level-headedness and stoicism that helps us through life, to navigate life and to make good decisions, to find our way through all that is inevitable and will challenge us. We saw it last week embodied in these families. Next week, as we celebrate our annual meeting and the retirement of Civil Argentar and wrestle down our budget and all else that we will do next week, we'll think about it in terms of this institution. But through all of that philosophy, all of that logic, all of that organization, all of that good thinking, we know that we hang here in a dewdrop world. And there is something that cuts through the mind straight to the heart about the grief of our lives, the fragility of each moment, and our knowledge that we live many endings until finally we come to an end. Celebrate the life of a beloved member of this congregation next Saturday, whose life, long as it was, came to an end all too soon. This dewdrop world. But in these families, we see also a strength. The strange paradox of human life, so fragile, but also so resilient, so strong. We know from psychological research today that even the most fragile lives can slowly be built back with repair and strength, no matter how many adverse experiences we may have experienced, when we simply reconnect with each other, when we bind ourselves to one another again, over and over again, with the smallest acts and gestures. Look at the work of Angels Charge Ministry. The lives not only of those women, but also those who work there, each one having experienced brokenness and risk and fragility, and their choice to do this arduous work. Hosting people in a home is 24/7 work. That's not easy, and it's full of problems, full of dangers. And yet, day by day, building connection that creates resiliency and strength in those lives. This is one of the strongest teachings of our tradition. It comes to us straight through the humanist tradition. And I say that not only because Don and Mary have asked me to talk about this, but because it's true. The insight that we have choices, and that in the fear and trembling of our lives, each time we can choose, rather than isolation and separation, connection, and the resiliency, the strength, even the joy that slowly can rebuild in each of us. And when we do that, we come to know that bright rainbow of each other's lives with a depth and wisdom that lets us act for one another in ways that are truly beautiful, truly healing, ways that can help us through all the changes of our lives, pull us out of the landslide over and over again, so that when we finally go down, no matter how, we can do it with love and celebration of the life lived. Mother's Day. My wife is the goddess, the creator of our children. And when she brought our children into the world, she created a new world for me to live in as well. My world is not the same. It's a very powerful thing. Creation of life and creation of a world. However it is that we do it, and whatever our genders may be. Please hear me offering this word about mothers in the broadest possible terms to nurture life in this world. And my wife has lived a good deal of brokenness in her life. Things in her past that still very much haunt her. She woke yesterday morning and she turned to me before we had risen, the early morning light, and she said, "I'm anxious. I'm so worried." And she named a catalog longer than Don and Mary's list of things worth worrying about. And they all have merit. They all have logic. I know them all too well. We'll celebrate our 20th wedding anniversary this June. Yes, that applause is for her, for sure. I'm the lucky one. She's the hero. I'm so anxious. And you'd think I hadn't learned anything in 20 years. So my first response is to reason. Here are all the reasons why this need not be a cause for anxiety. That does not make a dewdrop feel any more secure on its leaf. I will say for myself, it's not that I would be wrong exactly, logically speaking, but none of those words would be heard, and they would have none of the impact intended. They would make that leaf feel much more fragile. And after all these years of making that mistake many times, slowly building connection, slowly resiliency, we did talk about those anxieties. We did it by holding one another in our arms, creating that same physical connection that we created here last week, to touch one another, to go to the body and the heart, and feel that in this dewdrop world, we do not hang alone. And that connection changes the conversation, changes the logic and the reason. The head and the heart working together to affirm the life. And not just the single life, but the shared life. The life that we nurture in each other. Mothers one to another, all.
Please join me in hymn number 29 in your gray hymnal. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee, God of glory.
As we extinguish the chalice, more haiku, blown softly away in rustling breeze, spring leaves, fields of new grasses.
For Mother's Day, my wife asked that we take a family portrait. This is one of the causes of anxiety. How will this work? This has often not worked before. I have sometimes been the culprit myself. I said, you want this for Mother's Day? We're going to do it. It'll work. We're going to be clear with everybody the day before about what's expected. All devices will stay in the car when we get out of the car. Mine too. We're going to make it work. It was a beautiful day. Everybody bathed. Me too. And we stood there to have our picture taken. And suddenly I felt something on my shoulder. The hand of one of my children. And I felt that connection that she had felt the morning before. And the landslide took me down. This dewdrop world is just a dewdrop world.